Hi there, this is Jenny Walker from DiGiGoods and Printables ELA. Welcome to Segment 9, Full Argumentative Essay. This is where we put it all together. All the hard work is done. Congratulations. This part should be a breeze. Here's what you need to know. Well, the hard work is done, but you may need to make adjustments, rearrange words or sentences, add or delete words, whatever you need to do to make it sound amazing. In other words, mold your lump of clay. All right, to build the essay, you're going to go back to each of the red slides, like this, and you're going to copy your paragraphs, and you're going to paste them into the digital paper below. We're going to keep them in order that they are in because I created it to be in perfect order. Here are some tips. After you've compiled your essay, read it aloud. Reading your work aloud will help you discover mistakes and parts that don't flow well and that sound bad. Then read it once again, this time looking for typos and grammar and spelling and sentence mistakes. You may need to adjust your fonts so that they fit, but keep the font fairly small and never use cursive or childish fonts in a formal essay. If you need more room to write, you can duplicate the paper slides to give yourself more paper. And then use the rubric to make sure you're covering every element and getting all of the points if your teacher is grading with the rubric. Scroll to the sides and off of the slides to see an outline as you're writing. All right, here's a look at the rubric. This is the one that I created, but this is editable. Your teacher will adjust this to include the elements that he or she wants to use. You will be graded, if you're being graded with this, by only what's on this rubric and everything that's on this rubric. 0 points in the not acceptable category means that you either didn't include this element or it is so difficult to read that it doesn't make sense. This doesn't mean you're a bad writer. It just means you need to either add this element in or fix it entirely. You might get help from a peer, or you may need to ask your teacher for more help. A 5-point score means that the element is there, but it just needs some improvement. Maybe you didn't include enough background information, or maybe your thesis statement only has a claim but no reasons, or something like that. 10 points is the best you can do. It means you've included the element, it's well written, and it flows well, and you're good to go. No improvements are necessary. You should look at this rubric before and after you begin your writing process. Here are your slides. You'll notice that this is interactive, so you can paste your work in here. This is paragraph 1 or page 1, page 2, so forth. Remember, if you scroll to the top, you can adjust the size of your fonts to make everything fit nicely. You have 8 pages to work with, but if you need to duplicate this slide, just hit Control-C and then Control-V, and you'll have another slide to work with, or however many you need. Here's where you should give credit to your sources. If you remember at the beginning of this essay, when you were gathering evidence, you tracked all of your sources and you put them in the boxes so that you wouldn't have to go find them later. Now's your chance to track all of your sources. And that's it. Your work is done. As promised, we're going to go through the sample essay that you worked on earlier, and I'm going to identify all of the elements for you by dragging from the side. As you can notice that over here on the side, you have all these little transparent boxes that you can pull over and you'll be able to see them on your essay. Okay, everything in moderation. This is the hook. So we're going to cover up this. But but you can still see it. These are the wise words of Benjamin Franklin. He knew that too much of anything is not good. Though Ben Franklin had no idea video games would exist, his words definitely apply to them. To the dismay of many adults who believe video games are bad, children all across the world are engrossed in them, sometimes playing for hours each day. But are video games really terrible? Not if used in moderation. All of that is the background information, starting from about right here, to the dismay of many adults, all the way to here. Because this tells who's playing them, how severe the consequences, or what they mean, what it means. So that's your background information. And the next part is your thesis statement. So I'm going to drag this here. Video games can allow children to forge new friendships, increase health, and learn more efficiently. Therefore, parents should embrace gaming. This thesis statement includes your topic, your 3 reasons, and your claim. Page 2. This is your topic sentence. This is going to be easy because your topic sentence is always first. Despite what some people believe, meaningful connections can be made online. That's your topic sentence, ending with the word online. Your elaboration is everything that discusses the evidence. So starting about here to here, this is your discussion on the topics. And the evidence starts here. Let's move me out of the way. According to Pew Research, video games are not simply entertaining. This evidence continues on to the next page. So we'll drag this over here. They also serve as potent opportunity for socializing for teens with new friends and old. 83% of American teens say they play video games frequently and that they associate and they have met new friends that they associate with weekly. That's your evidence. That's all part of the quotation marks. That's everything in quote. And then everything else in that paragraph is the discussion, the elaboration. This overlaps a little bit because the sentences aren't all just on one line. So this research not only proves the popularity of gaming, but also the massive benefits to teens who might otherwise be isolated, lonely, and depressed. And that's not all. Aside from psychological benefits, studies show there can also be physical benefits. Notice that concluding line. It's going to lead me into this next paragraph. And here is my topic sentence. When many people think of video gaming, images of lazy teens sitting idly pop into their minds. That's my topic sentence. My elaboration begins over here. But that is not necessarily a true picture. Many video games require physical activity that promotes health. Nintendo's Wii system introduced motion control gaming all over the world. A team of researchers at the University of Oklahoma and Health and Science found that, here we go, that ends the elaboration, and here's where the evidence begins, right where this is actually easy to figure out because the evidence is always in quotation marks when we're quoting somebody. Okay, here's the evidence. Playing motion-controlled games was just as beneficial as walking on a treadmill at a speed of 35 miles an hour, end quote. And the rest of this paragraph is elaboration. Additionally, video games have been shown to help people with certain illnesses. According to the Pew Center, here's more evidence. I need to duplicate this because I ran out of orange bar. So I'll hit Control, I'll highlight it, hit Control C, Control V, and I've got another box I can use. Here's some more evidence. According to Pew Center researchers, video games help those who have multiple sclerosis with balance and cognitive, and then on to the next page, function. This is also part of the evidence. I'm going to highlight this. If gaming can improve muscle, oh no, this is not part of, actually, the evidence ends right here. And there should be a quotation mark. I need to fix that. Here's where the elaboration begins. If gaming can improve muscle functions in people with MS, it's safe to assume they can also benefit younger children by helping them develop hand-eye coordination and improving motor skills. These are just a few of the known benefits of video gaming. Other benefits are even more surprising. Whoops, what happened? Undo. That's what I love about Google Slides. If you make a mistake, you can just hit undo, and you're right back to where you were. Notice I didn't include this because it doesn't fit, but you get the idea. All right, next paragraph, topic sentence. Contrary to popular beliefs, video games can actually help students become better learners. That's my topic sentence. I'll end that right there. Here's some elaboration. This one raises a lot of doubts, but is absolutely true. The brain functions that are required for gaming are many of the same brain functions needed to learn anything. A well-known study, this is evidence here. I'm trying to find out where the evidence begins. This is elaboration. Hang on, let's put this here. A well-known study done at both the University of London and Queen Mary University of London had 72 volunteers play 2 video games for 40 hours. I don't even know if we need that there. This is the evidence. Over 6 to 8 weeks. The games were StarCraft, a fast real-time game, and The Sims, a slower life simulation game. The results showed that, okay, here is the evidence. Scoot this down. Here is all of this is elaboration because we're just discussing it. We're talking about it. Here's where the real evidence comes into play. Let's move that. The results showed that, quote, people who played StarCraft boasted better cognitive flexibility since the game requires constant thinking and input. And that is by gamedesign.org. Here we start with elaboration because that's me discussing it. Consequently, these findings, move on to the next page, continue the elaboration, should cause educators to reflect on teaching practices. Should the education system strive to incorporate gaming curriculum? It's definitely worth a closer look. That is all elaboration. And then into the next paragraph, we begin with a topic sentence. Of course, there are those who continue to vilify the gaming industry, claiming that video games are addictive and destroy the minds of children. And then I elaborate. But this assertion ignores all of the benefits associated with gaming, and it assumes that all parents allow their children unlimited access without boundaries. However, this is seldom true. Most parents carefully control the content and the amount of time the amount of time their children spend on video games. They ensure moderation, and in return, their children get the best of what gaming can offer. And then the next paragraph begins with a topic sentence. The advantages of greater social connections, healthier lifestyle, and increased learning capacity to video gamers is undeniable. And I need another box for my elaboration, so I'll just duplicate this one. It would be short-sighted to write off video games as terrible without considering that they likely alleviate depression and help children become smarter and more fit. If you're on the fence about video games, consider limiting them rather than tossing them out altogether. Remember, everything in moderation. And that is the end of the sample essay. I've collected my sources. The Pew Center research was one of my sources, and the title is Video Games and Building Relationships. I also gathered evidence from gamedesigning.org, and the title is Why Video Games Are Good. Teachers, if you would like to dig deeper into teaching MLA format, the 8th edition, this workshop is available on TPT, and it takes all of the pain away, or at least most of the pain away. If you're interested in more digital writing shops, step by step, I have a literary analysis, informative writing, a race constructed response workshop, and a really fun research workshop. This workshop draws on the Asch conformity test, where people are led to follow the crowd who does silly things like turning around in an elevator just because everybody else is doing it. This leads to a lot of fun, a lot of good discussion, but it also has implications of important, serious things such as bullying and why students might get involved in drugs or things like that. So you might want to check this research workshop out for a lot of fun and a lot of information. If you like this resource, make sure to rate it because you can get money back for TPT to buy more workshops. And last, follow me on Teachers Pay Teachers. That way you can get freebie alerts and alerts for new products that are always 50% off. Head on over to Facebook where we discuss all things digital learning. I hope you have enjoyed this writing workshop. I hope this has taken most all of the work out of teaching argumentative essay, and let me know what you think. Connect with me. I'd love to hear from you.